I've been testing elongated power paddles for a while, and plenty of them perform well. Big reach, big pop, plenty of power. The best of the best include the JOOLA Pro 4, RPM Friction Pro, 11624 Power, and Alpha Pro Power Series, and now the Thrive FURY Elongated. The problem with some is consistency. Some play unstable and unpredictable. Others only get their stability and performance after you load them up with weight. The Thrive FURY Elongated manages to stay powerful, fast, and predictable right out of the box. This is a 15.5mm Gen 3 honeycomb build with internal throat weighting and a carbon-fiberglass-carbon face. What makes it notable is that it's one of the few honeycomb paddles left in 2025 that can hang with modern foam core designs on raw power output while keeping a lighter, quicker feel. Gen 3 honeycomb paddles pushing 90 firepower are getting rarer as more companies shift to foam for the power category. Full disclosure here, Thrive sent me these paddles to play and test with no strings attached. No money changed hands. I'm not obligated to create content for them, and these are my honest impressions from hours, days, and weeks of play. The retail price is $180 with code MPB, which earns me a small kickback to continue creating content just like this. This paddle delivers elongated reach and strong power output with better face predictability and quicker handling than most lightweight elongated builds. But that combination comes with specific trade-offs which make it right for some players and completely wrong for others. The FURY Elongated uses a Gen 3 construction approach with a few deliberate choices that separate it from most elongated power paddles. The core is 15.5mm polypropylene honeycomb surrounded by what Thrive calls a propulsion foam channel, basically a perimeter injected TPE foam ring. TPE is more resilient than standard EVA foam. It holds its shape better when temperatures drop and resists compression over time. That means you get edge stability without the mushiness that sometimes happens with other core paddles after months of play. The face is a carbon-fiberglass-carbon layup. You've got outer carbon layers for structure with fiberglass in the middle for firmness and rebound. It's denser and louder on contact than all carbon faces, and it produces a faster, more direct response when the ball hits. The construction choice that actually matters here is the embedded throat weighting. Thrive built internal weighting into the throat area near the bottom corners of the paddle in the core during construction, similar to the JOOLA Pro 4. This isn't foam filler. It's actual metal weighting blocks placed to anchor the paddle through flicks, counters, and off-center contact. Check out this X-ray of the hybrid shape, and the weighting is clearly visible in the throat area. That internal mass keeps the paddle tracking straight when contact drifts outside the sweet spot, which is where most lightweight elongated paddles fall apart. The FURY Elongated measures 16.375 inches long by 7.5 inches wide, and that length gives you real reach advantages on serves, overheads, and drives. You've got a floating honeycomb core with perimeter foam injection. What Thrive did here is refine the Gen 3 formula with better internal weighting, stronger edges, and tighter manufacturing tolerances. The surface texture is peel ply, and it's very coarse. It's one of the grittiest paddles I've played. That grit grabs the ball aggressively, and it doesn't wear down quickly based on my testing period. The construction here is about predictable power output rather than maximum pop or extreme feel. They put real work into making this paddle stable and consistent across the face, even at a low swing weight. My test unit weighed 7.9 ounces, lighter than most paddles in the database. Swing weight came in at 116 on the dot, on the lower end for elongated builds, and twist weight measured 6.13. Those numbers tell you this paddle is quick through the air and easy to accelerate, but they also suggest it might struggle with stability on off-center hits. The balance point sits at 24.7 centimeters, which is high for the category and gives the paddle a more planted, head-forward feel once you get it moving. Combined with the low swing weight, you get quick acceleration without the whippiness that usually comes with lightweight elongated paddles. Performance metrics put serve speed at 61 miles per hour, which is 92nd percentile. Punch volley speed measured 39.1 miles per hour, landing at the 87th percentile. Spin hit 2,272 RPM, which is 76th percentile, right there with the bread and butter loco in terms of grit and ball grab. And combine those numbers earned at a firepower rating of 90 in my system. And to put that into context, you're looking at foam level power outputs from a honeycomb paddle. The handle honestly feels great at 5.5 inches long with a 4.125 inch circumference. First session with the FURY Elongated, and what hit me right away was how much easier it was to swing than I expected. That 116 swing weight makes a real difference. It accelerates quickly, comes back to center fast, and doesn't fight you through transitions. For an elongated paddle, this one plays surprisingly nimble. And Thrive is one of the few companies that lets you pick what swing weight you want when you place your order. My recommendation is to get the lightest one possible, play it, and determine if you want to customize it with weight. So far, I haven't added any. On serves, the power ramps up as you accelerate through your motion. You don't need a huge wind-up to generate pace, but when you do open up your swing, the ball takes off. That 61 mile per hour serve speed isn't inflated, it's real, and you feel it. The extended length gives you more reach without requiring extra effort, and the grit on the surface lets you load spin into your serve for more movement. Drives on the baseline had the same scaling behavior. Compact strokes produce controlled pace, but when I stepped into the ball and accelerated, the output jumped noticeably. That's different from stiffer face paddles that give you the same response regardless of how hard you swing. Here's where things got interesting. Despite the low twist weight on paper, the paddle played more stable than the numbers suggested. Off-center hits didn't twist the paddle out of position the way I expected. That embedded throat weighting keeps it tracking straight through contact even when you catch the ball outside the sweet spot. Counters, flicks, and resets all felt clean and predictable. At the kitchen line, the paddle plays fast but controllable. It's not a soft, plush feel like the RPM Friction Pro. This is a firmer build with quick rebound, but it's not jarring or unmanageable. Handbell stayed stable, blocks felt solid, and the predictability across the face made it easier to adjust mid-rally. If you're used to softer foam core paddles with more dwell, this will feel quicker and more direct. Touch shots required a bit more precision than I'm used to with paddles like the J6 FC Plus or the J6NF. The firmer face and faster rebound mean drops and dinks need cleaner contact and softer hands. It's absolutely manageable. I wasn't shanking drops or floating dinks, but you'll notice the difference if you're coming from a paddle with more face compression. One thing that stood out over multiple sessions, the paddle doesn't feel as jumpy or unpredictable as other elongated builds in the power category. The Fury's face is more uniform. What you get in the center, you mostly get spread out a bit wider. That consistency makes it easier to control after a short adjustment period. The grit on the surface is aggressive. Spin numbers hit 2,272 RPM consistently, right in line with the Loco. You can load the ball with topspin on drives or slice serves with plenty of bite, and the grit hasn't degraded noticeably over my testing period either. Feel-wise, the Fury is firm but not board-like or overly stiff like some 14mm models. There's enough feedback to know where you made contact without feeling harsh. The paddle softened slightly after the first few sessions, not dramatically, but enough to make drops and resets a touch more controlled without losing the quick rebound that defines its personality. So for players who want elongated reach and power without committing to a heavy, slow swinging paddle, this is a real option. For players who already struggle with high pop, fast rebound paddles, this will amplify those issues rather than solve them. Thrive offers the Fury in two shapes, elongated and hybrid. I've tested both now, and if the endorsement isn't clear, I highly recommend the Thrive Fury in either the hybrid or elongated shapes. The elongated gives you more reach and better leverage, which translates to stronger serve speed and more power on full string drives. The hybrid has faster hands and a larger feeling sweet spot, making it better in transition and at the kitchen line. So if your game is built around applying pressure from the baseline and midcourt, the elongated makes more sense. If you live at the kitchen and prioritize quick exchanges, the hybrid is the better pick. The Fury Elongated is competing in a crowded space, elongated power paddles with Gen 3 construction. The closest comparisons are the JOOLA Pro 4 16mm elongated, the 11624 Power and Alpha Pro Power series, Franklin C45 Dynasty series, and the RPM Friction Pro. So I think the Fury Elongated is right for intermediate to advanced players who care about power and reach but don't want to commit to a heavy, slow swinging paddle. It works for players with compact, controlled strokes who can scale power by accelerating through the ball rather than relying on the paddle to do the work. It's a good choice for baseline and midcourt players who apply pressure through serves and drives but still need quick hands in transition. And it's a clear upgrade path for players moving up from standard or hybrid shapes who want more reach without sacrificing maneuverability. I think it's the wrong choice for players who struggle with high pop, fast rebound paddles. This will amplify those issues rather than solve them. It's not for finesse first players who rely on soft touch, long dwell time, and the maximum margin for error on drops and dinks. So that's it. That's the Thrive Fury Elongated review, and it comes in 3 colors, and you can select which swing weight you prefer. You can check it all out at thrivepb.com and use code MPB to save 10% at checkout. Make sure to like and subscribe if you found this review helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.